What's up? This is Coach Vassar. Welcome to Audio Daily Beats. If you're new to these, thank you for joining me. We're going to be talking about Friday, September 6th. This is also going to repeat on Sunday, September 22nd. We got a strength endurance day. It's also a switch template. If you find value of these, you can support me. Information's in the description of the video. No pressure on that, but appreciate anything that you guys send. Buy me a coffee, love it. But yeah, let's get into it. We're gonna do a brief overview, talk about key concepts, break down the treads, break down the rower weight floor, and then go from there. So, all right, so for the 2G, key concepts, treads, you're on the treads twice with a switch style workout. Block 1, inclines ramp up throughout the block. Block 2, they start high and they come down. Lower your speed as you need to conquer the inclines. For the floor, you'll hit the floor twice today for supersets and core focused mini band circuits. And then in the 2G, there's no rowing today. Of course, they'll start on the rower for their warm-up if they start on the weight floor. All right, so as we look at this template, they go tread floor. For a switch template, you got 2-minute transitions across the board, so very quick movements around the room. So lobby intro, definitely give that prioritization of hustle and bustle. I like to use the phrase of, you might want to take your time, but the workout's not going to wait for you. And also, if your studio allows it, set out wipes prior and have people, hold those wipes, grab new ones as they need them. That way it saves you time from having to pass out wipes after that, the final all out and the walk recoveries and whatnot. So as we look at the first tread block for strength, we're going to see 11 minutes. You're going to alternate between 1 minute base climb and then a 2-minute flat road base. You're going to do that a total of 3 times, and then there's a bonus base climb that goes right into a 1 minute all out. When it comes to the overview for this, incline should obviously push the heart rate up. And then in block 2, they start with the higher incline and gradually decrease as they go. When it comes to the goal, they want to maintain their base speed when they hit flat road. And then throughout the block, they could adjust their speed uphill so it still feels like a push. Power walkers, joggers, runners, they're actually going to be pretty much lined up with incline recommendations. So power walkers and joggers, runners, they're going to start at a 3% incline. Power walkers, of course, they could go higher. So they got 1 minute, 3% incline, 2-minute flat road base. And then the next round, it's going to be 6%, then 9%, and then eventually 12%. It's going to be brutal, but after that 1 minute base at 12%, they go right into a flat road all out. The second block for the treadmills, it's the inverse. So let's start at 12%, 9, 6, and 3%, and of course get to that flat road all out again, still with 2-minute flat road bases in between. If you have anyone on the bike or strider, recommendation is just alternate between a push gear and a base gear, with them being there for just about a minute, probably about 4 up to maybe 5 gears over base, and then hold their flat road base gears for those 2 minutes, and then of course for their all out, hit 6 gears or more. For the finer intricacies of this, I would say the first base at 3%, that's going to feel very similar to like a base push. So heart rate may be high green, barely dip into that orange by the end of it, and then flat road 2-minute base, definitely be able to catch your breath. When on the next base, when they go up to 6%, that's going to be that should definitely be uncomfortable. So they should see orange hopefully about halfway through, if not sooner. And then they'll hit their 2-minute base. Then on the next 2 base climbs, we're going to see 9 and 12%. This is where people may adjust their speed uphill just a smidge. Every percent that you add is going to feel very similar to like a 0.2 speed increase. So now that we're going from 6 to 9, that's 3% higher. So if they dial back their base speed by about 0.5 to 0.7-ish range, a 6% base climb and a 9% base climb with that decrease in speed should feel very similar in terms of effort. If they could hold their base, this is definitely going to be like a push all out. It's going to be uncomfortable, borderline very uncomfortable. 2-minute flat road base, and then power walkers, they'll be at a 12% incline or greater. Maybe they pull back a little bit on that base speed for power walking, and of course joggers, runners, 12%. They might pull back another 0.5 to 0.7 compared to what they did for their 9%. Or if they're able to hold it, great. When they hit their all out, flat road, and they send it, whatever they got, obviously doing more than what their base is. Power walkers, 10% or greater. If anything, maybe have them drop their incline down to that 10% and then bump up their power walk speed to get a little bit quicker cadence and kind of get that speed change that the joggers, runners will see. After that, they'll head to the weight floor, of course, with a switch template. They'll come back and then they'll do their second tread block. Like I said, it's the exact same thing, but it's done in reverse. So they'll start at 12%, maybe scale back a little bit on that speed. When they hit their 2-minute flat road base, incline drops, bring their speed back to their base. The first minute of that flat road base is going to be pretty taxing on the body. Obviously, heart rate response will continue to trend upward for at least the first 30 to 45 seconds before maybe it starts to level out and then work its way back down before they go back uphill. This is a true test of what their base is for the day, and if they could truly set up something that is challenging but doable. So this is one of the ones where you're definitely gonna, give the heads up of like, hey, base is an effort, not just the intensity. So we should feel like active recovery during these flat roads. The inclines should make this tough. Elite athletes trying to hold their base speed all the way through. They're going to see very high heart rate responses, especially on that back half of block 1 and the front-loaded incline at the start. That's going to keep their heart rate elevated. So they may see, orange very quickly in block 2, and they might actually carry through that the entire 11 minutes. It's going to be rough. I'm actually looking forward to taking this one. That's it. Treadmill is pretty simple for that. When you look at the weight floor, we're going to see a total of 4 blocks. The first 2, they'll be completed. Then they'll switch. When they come back, they have another 2 blocks. Blocks 1 and 3 are going to be 2 movements, back-to-back unilateral supersets. So do the first movement to the left, to the right. Do the second movement, left, right, then take a break. We're going to see goblet step-down toe taps, followed by the front-loaded contralateral single-arm cross-back lunge. Of course, with just 2 movements, definitely full demo this. So use a weight option for they could go body weight for that step-down toe tap. And then same thing with the front-loaded cross-back lunge. The step-down toe tap, obviously they'll start at the top of the bench and then imagine like they're trying to just dip their toe into the swimming pool. So they just barely kiss the ground and then come right back up. They're going to do all the reps on one side and then the other. We're looking at 8 reps each, so definitely moderate to heavy weight. For that front-loaded cross-back lunge, dumbbells on one side, that's the leg that's going to step back and cross over. So if you got the right side, right leg steps back, but it moves over to the left. One option I like to do that is just a regular reverse lunge if that small cross back gives any torque to that front knee. A lot of people find that very uncomfortable, so you could do reverse lunges. Also, if your studio keeps them out, step ups, great option as well. So that way they still get that unilateral work. With the number of reps and the fact that it's broken up between left and right, each round's probably going to take about 90 seconds to 2 minutes. So with the 7 minutes, they should get 2-3 rounds in or so. During the third 2-minute base on the treads, you'll have 1 minute to get the weight floor set up for their second floor block. They'll be using mini bands on block number 2. You got the crunch hold, in and outs, and the mini band with the bridge. For the crunch hold, in and outs, and the bridge, mini band is going to be placed right around the middle of the shin. For the crunch hold, shoulders are lifted, lower back should be flat. Feet should be about 6 inches off the ground. And the key thing for this movement that people tend to neglect is the control on the return and to keep tension on that band. So ideally, they actually keep their feet slightly apart, and then they go out. And then as they come back in, they try to fight that band as slow as they can, and then right back out. If you do this right, between the crunch, targeting the flexion of the abs, they're gonna feel the core there, but the mini band, they're gonna hit the side of the glutes, that lateral glute medius muscle there. That's really gonna burn. If you have people who kind of struggle with this one, pulling the knees in a little bit is a great option, or even lifting the feet up a little bit higher. What I like to do with people, definitely don't take their time. If they try to speed through this and you see them just flapping away, give them something to not touch, whether that is like hold a 12-pound dumbbell so it's, vertical, place that right between where their feet are, and tell them like, hey, don't let your feet touch the dumbbell. And as they come in, they can't touch, and then they have to go right back out. It's a good way to kind of give that, tactile feedback without actually having to touch them. And also that way you could kind of be off to the side as you're doing that. So that way you're not like in line with them, making it awkward, especially if you're opposite gender of them. The mini band bridge, it is with a dumbbell in the crease of the hip, and of course mini bands in that same spot. So still a lot of lateral glute activation. And then as they're driving up with the mini band bridge, a lot of hamstring and glute recruitment for there. Partial demos for that. So when you guys do your setup, just let them know where the mini bands are. Tell them that, pretend I got the band on, do the movements real quick, and then get them moving and grooving. The third and fourth floor block here, the third block, they're going to be back to unilateral work. You got the half kneel and single arm shoulder press, whichever knee's on the ground, that's the side the weight is on. As they press up and down, they'll do 8 on each side. Then they go to the bench high plank, single arm reverse fly. Full demos for both of these. For the half kneel-in shoulder press, they could do a seated single arm shoulder press or standing. And then for the bench plank, single arm reverse fly, they could do a single arm low row on the strap, or they could do a dumbbell single arm low row. Whichever they choose to do, make sure they work on keeping those hips stable, especially if they do the bench high plank single arm reverse fly. You'll see people tend to twist and rotate as they fly out. So try to keep, shoulders, hips pointed straight down as they pull that weight out and then back in. With the half kneel-in single arm shoulder press, if weight is too heavy, you'll see people kind of lean out to the side. If people are able to kind of see themselves in the mirror at any capacity, try to keep the nose over the belly button. I make the joke of you're not a teapot. So you'll see people here and they'll have their hand on their hip, making that handle. And I tell them, get that hand out, put in that hand there. It's going to add that structural support for their core. It's a great option. But if people are, wanting that core work, get that hand off. That way they really have to keep that tight as they press. The fourth and final weight floor block is no bands. It's just dumbbell body weight. They're going to do, it does have mini bands, and it is low position. So they're looking at right around like ankle, lower part of the shin. They're going to be doing a double crunch, and then the low plank alternating toe tap. So with the low band double crunch, it is also with a dumbbell. Same idea, they want to keep tension, so their feet should be on railroad tracks as they pull the knees in and extend the feet. And of course they have the dumbbell as they pull and crunch up into it. Lower back will stay glued. I've noticed a lot of people, at least my studio, if they're not aware of the double crunch, they tend to do a full sit-up rather than keeping that lower back down and get that flexion through the upper abs. So you are trying to target like rectus abdominis from both sides, lower abs and upper abs as they pull the knees in, and using lower abs to do that as they crunch and lift their shoulders, upper abs. If they sit up, there's not going to be any flexion in the upper abs. They're not going to feel it. And of course, with the dumbbell, that's just adding extra load. So they could go body weight there. Low band, low plank, alternate and toe tap. They could do a high plank. They could also do it without the band. Either are good options. And just like before, keeping that space between the feet, keep tension on the band, slow step out, pull back in, other side, 12 total, slow and controlled. For these mini bands, goal is to get at least 3+ rounds in those 3 minutes. It's It's a lot of core though, so you may see people take breaks. Totally cool. That's it. And once again, there's no rowing in the 2G. Treads, very high incline, especially in that second block. So potential to see most of the splat points kind of in the back end of the workout today. So if you see people struggling, try to hit those orange zones at the beginning of class, totally fine. But halfway through, due to fatigue, they should definitely be collecting their splats then. Now when it comes to the 3G, this is also going to be a switch template. So treads, row, floor, treads, row, floor. You got 6.5 minutes, 2-minute transitions, just like before. The treads is basically the same, but they take out the top incline. So they'll see 3, 6, and 9. And then instead of 2 minutes of recovery, they'll have a 90-second flat road base. Hill climbs are still a minute each. They'll finish their block with a 30-second all out. The second tread block, once they've gone through the room once, same thing as the 2G, they'll start at 9, work their way down, 1 minute uphill, 90-second flat road. And same goal, maintain base speed flat road, decrease during the incline work. Power walkers are also lined up with inclines. When it comes to the rower, obviously with the 3G, they got to incorporate rowing somehow. They're going to have a power day on the rower for the 3Gs. The first block, back to back, you're going to complete a 250 meter row and then a 1-2-3 knee drive combo for 10 total reps. Once they've completed 3 rounds of that, then they'll just row until time is called. This is looking to be a push effort intensity row. So 250 on that distance, leg drive set right about 6 or 7. And then this should definitely be able to be completed about, I'd say 45 seconds to maybe about a minute, 15-ish at the most. And then they'll go into that 1-2-3 knee drive as a little bit of active recovery. Goal is to get through all 3 rounds before time's called. So if they're able to do that push row in under a minute and then transition, do your 1-2-3s for 10 reps, that's going to be about another 45 seconds. So you're looking about just shy under 2 minutes for every round. Very, very doable goal to get at least get to that bonus. The second row block, once they've gone through the room again, same idea, 250 push row, but now they're going to do a squat to alternating cross-body knee drive for 10 reps total. Same idea, complete 3 rounds, row until the finisher. Goal is to make it to the bonus of row until the finisher. Finisher is a 30-second all out. And then on the weight floor, the 2 blocks are actually block 1 and 3 from the 2G. So block 1, you got the step down toe taps and front loaded single arm cross back lunge. And then in the second block, you're going to see the shoulder press and the bench high plank single arm reverse fly. Their finisher though will be different. They're going to do a bodyweight mountain climber for the final 30 seconds on that second floor block. So just be aware of that. At the very least, acknowledge it. If you want to demo it so members are aware of the difference between the mountain climber and the alternating knee drive. That's it. Once again, you got strength on the treads as they kind of use incline to build speed as they have to move their feet quicker uphill. Mike says it a lot when he was doing these videos of, when it comes to incline work, you'll see people kind of pouch forward. So keep the chest up, drive those hips forward, knees should come up, heels come up towards your backside rather than out behind you. Quick steps. Power walkers, they might see bigger stride as they kind of drive off that back foot to help keep those hips forward while they're doing that. Any feedback, as always, let me know. A couple of you have messaged me, and I appreciate that. And I'll definitely be incorporating that into the next few videos. That's all I got for you guys. Shoot me a DM on GroupMe. If you got any feedback, any questions, I'd love to hear your responses. You can also comment on these videos as well, and I'll catch them there. Got any questions, let me know. Otherwise, y'all coach it down. Good job.